probably help if I unmute things.
Yep.
Check, check, check. How's that level feeling? Feeling good? All right, cool.
You're not putting a microphone around the symphony.
No, what they say is not broadcasting. They didn't, from what she said, I specifically asked, are we video?
I mean, it's fine. I can probably pick it up.
Dumbass. Hey, hey, hey. There we go. All right. It's not distorting at all. I'm not overdriving anything. Check, check, check. Hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey. All right. Now, it looks like the levels are fine on the camera. So I'm worried about that. It says
No,
over.
that's my...
Oh, that's that. Oh, I see. Okay, cool. All right, great. All right, perfect.
Where did they go? Oh, here they are. Excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry to bug you.
I did a little bit audio.
I wasn't putting out any audio, but we're all good. It's not distorting. It's not doing anything like that. Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah.
Am I on? Yes. No. Yes. Welcome. We are so excited to have you here. I am Cynthia Holmes. I am the president of Central Virginia Board of Governors for Virginia Opera. Take the time to slow down and let this space create an energy for you. The architecture does it for you. So let's start with that. And then take a moment and be present. Be present now because you are in the presence of something big that is about to happen. Energy. Feel the energy. E equals MC squared. Energy always moves. It's dynamic. It propels whatever machine it gets behind. We at Virginia Opera have the best well-oiled machine in our leader, Paleggi Dai.
So when we talk about this project, I will never be up here by myself. Lacey, come join me. What's that? Oh, good. Okay. Please.
I was just standing here, Elizabeth Cabell Jennings.
I see you standing right behind her.
Well, I'm short, and that happens to me a lot. I'm the chair of the board of directors of the Richmond Symphony. We are so happy that you are here with us today. And if I could just share a moment of the work the symphony has been doing on our strategic plan for the last year. There are 3 pillars. The first one is enhancing artistic excellence and innovation, and the second is partnering with our community. And I can think of no way to live out both of those pillars than this particular project. The most important, perhaps, love story of the modern American history in a libretto and a musical voice that brings an innovative, different perspective. And so the Richmond Symphony is thrilled to be a part of this work. We look forward to the work of the next several years, and we can't wait to hear what you create going forward. So thank you again for being here.
All right, welcome everybody. Thank you so much to our powerful board chairs. Lacey and I are really excited to be here. We've been waiting for this moment for some time. I would like to thank not only our board chairs, but also all of you, all the supporters that are seeing us through this, that got us to this point, that will take us on our 3-year journey. We're so grateful. I also would like to mention Opera America, which is the first organization that has jumped on the train to make sure that this project happens. They gave us a wonderful grant to kick off this project.
Thank you so much. Yes, the Richmond Symphony is really extraordinarily excited to be a part of this collaboration, to be bringing this story to life through opera. I mean, what better way to tell this incredibly dramatic love story, an important part of American history. I'd also like to say thank you to Dominic Wilston, the Executive Director of the ICA, and to the staff here at the ICA for not only hosting us today, but being a partner in this journey and hosting workshops throughout the next few years, which we'll share a little bit about in a moment. And take a moment to recognize the Richmond Symphony Music Director, Valentina Paleggi, who's here with us today. Hello. And the Virginia Opera Artistic Director, Adam Turner. Thank you so much. And Adam, we will turn it over to you to tell us a little bit about the project.
Well, hello everyone. It's good to see you. When we started thinking years ago about what could possibly mark the occasion for the 50th anniversary of Virginia Opera, the official opera company of the Commonwealth, we started thinking about most important aspects that it be a Virginia story. We want to commission an opera about a Virginia topic, something very important to the history of the state. And if we could get a bonus in that being a Virginia composer, even better. And I'm happy to report that we have both of those today. I'll tell you a little bit more about the composer in a second. The story, Loving versus Virginia. I can't think of a more fitting story, a testament of love, a story of quiet persistence, courage, dignity, and ultimately a victory for civil rights and the freedom to marry in the entire nation. It paved the way for so many people's marriages and lives, and on a personal note, it made my marriage possible. Through Obergefell versus Hodges in 2015, same-sex marriage was legalized, and I'm happily married for 2 years. That was a COVID happy thing. Thank you. But it's a testament to Loving versus Virginia that was possible. Of course, they were cited in that court case. So how to find the right composer, how to find the right voice to tell this story, to uplift this story on the operatic stage. It's not an easy story to tell. And we had a number of conversations with the Richmond Symphony together, talking about some of our favorite composers we're interested in, kind of the next generation of composers that we wanted to support and nurture. And a name kept rising to the top of the list over repeated conversations. And that is of this man to my right, Damian Jeter, who, by the way, you'll have an opportunity to see this weekend performing Beethoven's Ninth Symphony with the Richmond Symphony. I hope you have your tickets. Yes. Damian is a voice that I first discovered a few years ago through Washington National Opera's American Opera Initiative. He had written a piece called American Apollo, which is a chamber opera that has since been commissioned to be expanded for Des Moines Metro Opera. It's a fabulous work, and I recall waking up the next day after watching this thing online, and the tunes just permeating my mind. I could not get the melodies out of my head, and that's a good sign for a composer. And on the way here, in fact, driving up from Norfolk today, I just listened to an African-American Requiem, which had its premiere about a week ago in Oregon. And again, these melodies are just rolling through my mind. I can't get them out. That's a great sign of accessible, high-quality music, and I'm just so excited. Damian has, not only as a performer, he's been at the Met, Seattle Opera, Portland Opera, where he's interim music director and artistic advisor, but as a composer, as I mentioned, American Apollo, and coming up this summer at Glimmerglass Festival, the world premiere of Holy Ground. So you should get your tickets and go up to Cooperstown to see that production as well. And upcoming, there's the East Coast premiere of his Requiem, an African-American Requiem, with the Choral Art Society of Washington. In fact, tonight he'll be at the Kennedy Center attending a rehearsal for that recording and that premiere. So it's very exciting. I'm so excited to introduce Damian Jeter, the composer of Loving versus Virginia.
Thank you, Adam. Most of what he said was true. It's good to be home. I grew up in Chesterfield County. They call it South Chesterfield now. We're at the very, south of Chesterfield. And Petersburg is, I used to hang out in Petersburg a lot, but it's good to be home. It's good to be back here with the symphony. These are two institutions that I revered when I was a child. And my very first operatic experience was with Virginia Opera. And the very first opera that I saw was Elektra by Strauss. So you can imagine that I was very excited about opera. Opera was completely foreign to me. I was very much into the symphonic world. I did my undergrad at Old Dominion University, and that was sort of my connection with Virginia Opera. I think that was in 2002, but I'm not exactly sure when Elektra was. So that was my sort of foray into opera, and I did an interview with Bill from the Richmond Times last week, and he said, well, when you saw the opera, was that the thing that made you realize you wanted to write opera? And I said, no, because I actually never thought I would be a composer. That was not on my list of things to do. I wanted to be a conductor, and I do have opportunities to do that, but composing is nice too. So I've always sort of written melodies and things like this, but when people started taking me seriously as a composer, it's sort of the same way I got into singing. When people started taking me seriously in those two things, that's when I was like, okay, well, somebody is trying to tell me something. I was thinking about when Jen Arnold texted me about the possibility of being the composer for this. I was at my nephew's wedding in San Francisco. Was it last year? What year is this? It might have been 2020, but I think it was last year. Anyway, was it last year? Okay, last year. And immediately I was like, well, I have to do this and I have to do this. And I was like, wait a minute. I got to make this work. And after several conversations, obviously it worked because I'm standing here now, but this is a story that's very important, not only important to Virginia, but important to our nation and, quite frankly, the world. And it is right in line with everything that I do as a composer in terms of forwarding the cause of social justice through music. And speaking of forwarding things, I think that Virginia Opera, Richmond Symphony, I commend you for commissioning new works, because this is the only way that the art is going to continue to move forward. And we need these things, quite frankly. Let me just refer to my little notes here for a second. Yes, so I'm very excited about this opportunity. I think about it every single day. In fact, Jessica and I had a really great meeting last week just before I got on the plane to kind of flesh out a few different ideas musically and some of the things that she's thinking about in terms of the story, and I think it's going to be good. So that's our hope. So again, thank you very much for coming. I'm so honored to be here. It feels good to be home. I've actually never done any work in this area before in terms of like Richmond or Chesterfield or Petersburg or anything like that, but it feels good to be back and to do important work like this. So thank you very much.
He's really tall. He mentioned a name that I neglected to mention earlier, Jessica. Jessica Murphy-Moo, our librettist, whose work has been produced by Virginia Opera twice. And she could not be with us today. She's on the West Coast, but she recorded a video in which she speaks about the work and about Damian. So we're going to play that video now on the screen.
Hello, Virginia Opera and Richmond Symphony. My name is Jessica Murphy-Moo. I am a writer and an editor. I'm calling you from my office at University of Portland, where I work in a day job. I'm also a librettist, and I have the great honor of working on a new opera with composer Damian Jeter on the Loving vs. Virginia Supreme Court decision and the lives of Mildred and Richard Loving. When Damian called me on the phone to tell me about this opportunity, I was over the moon. I started gushing for several reasons, first of which is that this Supreme Court decision means a great deal to me and my family. It made my marriage possible. It made my family possible. And I owe a great deal to Mildred and Richard Loving. I owe them so much of what I hold dear. It's a great honor to work to tell their story. And it's also a great responsibility. My oldest daughter, her birthday is on June 12th, which is Loving Day, and I always thought that was perfect. The second reason that I'm over the moon is that I get to work with composer Damian Jeter. We've been trying to find a project to work on for about 2 years, and his work is amazing. He is on the rise. We just went to see an African-American Requiem this weekend. My whole family went. And Damian composed the work. It was a thrilling night. It was riveting. It was full of import and emotion. He knows how to tell a story through music. And we will be plumbing the depths of that work forever. I can't wait for you to hear it. I can't wait for you to hear his music. The third reason I think that I'm over the moon is that this is a new opera. I hope it brings new people to the art form. We know that the Lovings, that their story has been depicted as a movie. I haven't seen it, but we know that others have told their story, and I think opera is going to have its own way of helping us to understand this couple and what they went through to achieve what they did for all of us. Opera can take on really big ideas and make you feel. And I think that all the ingredients are there for this story. It's a love story. It's sort of, there's an unlikely hero and heroine who stood up to legalized racism and won. It's an American story. It's a story about home. They were trying to get home. All of these ingredients, all of these ideas are perfect for opera. I hope this story is a way for new people to try opera that maybe haven't tried it before. The other reason I'm really excited is that I get to work with Virginia Opera and Richmond Symphony. I have worked with Virginia Opera before. They produced two of the operas that I've worked on. I wrote the libretto for An American Dream and Earth to Kenzie, and their professionalism was incredible. They did a wonderful, wonderful job, and I was so happy to work with them then, and I'm so happy to work with them now. I also can see how they do a lot of work to create partnerships, and I love making opera in that way. I've done that in the past. I think it makes their work meaningful in really new ways when there are new partnerships involved. And I saw some of this when I was out on a recent research trip in February. A shout out to the archivists and librarians and local historians who helped me out and set me up for success when I was out for that research trip. I had the opportunity to walk around Bowling Green. I got to go to the courtroom where their first trial occurred. I held a number of the court documents, the original court documents in my hand. I went to the prison where Mildred and Richard were held, and I spent a little time alone in the cell where Mildred spent time alone, and it was a very moving, uncomfortable experience. It was very claustrophobic and lonely. I think that it's the job of me and Damian to try to bring that experience to the audience, to help us feel and understand what Mildred and Richard went through for equality for us all.